there is such a film, it does not shy away from the topic focus, stabs the social pain point with the topic of life and survival. We have seen the transformation and sublimation of the little people, the choice of law and morality, and the direction of the Chinese films should strive for. In today's video, we will talk about the feature film Dying to Survive, directed by Wen Muye and starring Xu Zheng in 2018. The story takes place in Shanghai in 2002. Cheng Yong, a middle-aged greasy man who resells adult products and runs a half-dead shop of massage oil in the old streets. He can't afford medical care for his paralyzed father. After the divorce, there was no way to fight for custody of his son. That day, the neighbor introduced a special guest to Cheng Yong, Lü Shouyi. He suffers from slow-growing leukemia and needs to take the Swiss company's miracle drug yearning to survive. But this imported drug costs 37,000 yuan a bottle. And recently, they found an identical Indian counterfeit drug that costs 2,000 yuan a bottle. So he hoped that Cheng Yong, a frequent smuggler in India, would help him bring some back. Cheng Yong brought back a batch of medicine from India. After returning to China to sell the medicine, he met Si Hui, a pole dancer in disco. She is a single mother and her daughter is suffering from his disease. In order to better communicate with the Indian pharmaceutical factory side, they found the church pastor Liu. He is also a leukemia person who speaks fine English. At this time, another yellow-haired boy suddenly appeared. He grabbed the medicine and ran away without saying a word. Cheng Yong learned from Si Hui that he is also a leukemia patient, and he has been away from home for a long time in order not to burden his family. Cheng Yong took pity on him and decided to recruit a guy to help him run errands. Once a team was assembled, the first batch sold out quickly. Cheng Yong also got the sole agency of Indian medicine. Soon, the money for his father's surgery was collected, and his son could stay by his side with peace of mind, and even patients kept sending penance. Cheng Yong's life seemed to change overnight. However, the influx of generic drugs was eventually discovered by the Swiss pharmaceutical company, and they called the police. The person in charge of the case was Cheng Yong's ex-wife's younger brother, the captain of the Criminal Investigation Brigade, Cao Bing. One day, a group of people accidentally discovered that not only their staff was selling medicine, but also a liar who pretended to be an academician, Zhang Changling. In the evening, Zhang Changling unexpectedly visited Cheng Yong. He said that Cheng Yong would be arrested within 2 years if he continued to sell like this, and hoped that he would resell the agency rights to himself. The next day, as soon as Cheng Yong got back a batch of new medicine, the call from Zhang Changling saying that the police would be there immediately. Sure enough, the police arrived. Fortunately, they prepared ahead of time and escaped unharmed. But this crisis led the shaking Cheng Yong decide to quit. At the dinner, which meant the team broke up, he told everyone that the pirated drugs would be sold by Zhang Changling from then on. 1 year later, Cheng Yong opened a clothing factory. Lü's wife found him. It turned out that Zhang Changling had raised the price of the medicine to 20,000 yuan, and the patients could not afford it. So they reported him to the police. After Zhang Changling fled, the medicine was confiscated by the police, and Lü Shouyi's condition became worse and worse after he stopped taking the medicine. Cheng Yong went to India himself. On the streets of India, 2 statues of gods suddenly appeared. Surrounded by smoke, Cheng Yong seemed to have seen a miracle come. But Cheng Yong was still one step too late. After returning to China, Lü Shouyi was gone. In order not to drag his family down, he chose to commit suicide. Because of Lü Shouyi's death, Cheng Yong decided to start selling medicine again. Cheng Yong found Si Hui and gathered the patient group leaders together again. This time, he didn't earn a penny for the medicine, and the bottle only sold for 500 yuan. Huang Mao also took the initiative to come back to help Cheng Yong. On the other hand, The police started a blanket search and found pirated drugs at the Leukemia Mutual Aid Association. All the patients were taken to the police station. Cao Ping advised everyone to actively cooperate and tell the drug dealers information. But an old lady begged the police not to pursue Indian medicine.
我病了3年，4万块钱1瓶的正版药吃了3年，房子吃没了，家人被我吃垮了。现在好不容易有了便宜药，你们非说它是假药，那药假不假？ 我们能不知道吗？那药才卖500块钱1瓶，药贩子根本没赚钱，谁家能不医上个病呢？你就能保证你这一辈子不生病吗？啊
Zhang Changling was finally caught by the police and brought to justice, but he did not confess Cheng Yong was a man selling drugs. However, Cao Ping, relying on the police intuition, noticed Cheng Yong's information in Zhang Changling's case and found Cheng Yong. This day, Huang Mao followed Cheng Yong to drive to fetch medicine. On the way, the two went to the toilet. When Huang Mao came back, he found the police coming for the dog. Taking advantage of Cheng Yong's inattention, he drove the police away in a small car. On his way to escape, a truck crashed on him, taking his life. In the hospital, Cheng Yong crazily pushed Cao Ping against the wall, and the film reached its climax.
你说话了！你说话了！他有这个罪！他有这个罪！放开他。
The Indian pharmaceutical factory was shut down, but the director of the factory still gave Cheng Yong a channel, and the purchase price of the medicine this time was 2,000 a bottle. Cheng Yong couldn't bear to raise the price, so he sold it for 500 and paid for the difference by himself. He sent his son abroad, ready to put all his eggs in one basket. That night, Cheng Yong was caught by the lone-awaited police while delivering medicine to his patients. In court, he admitted what he had done and expressed his hope that more people could afford the medicine. The court also sentenced him to 5 years in prison instead of stricter punishment because of his motive of saving people. On the way to prison, many leukemia patients gathered on the roadside, gazing at him with smiles, out of gratitude.